Good evening. It is Thursday. That means it is time to do another Rockin' with B Rock show. And this week, I was turned on to a band last week by Tim Swift, who we all know is Mr. He finds everything, dude. I mean, this guy just finds everything and he'll send it to you and say, hey, check this out. And 99.99999% of the time, it kicks ass. Well, he sent me this band. I think it was last Monday. Monday or Tuesday. One of them 2 days. It was like 1 a.m. I got it at 6 a.m. And I immediately, no, this was Friday. Okay, it was Friday. Because I went into work and I'm sitting there bored. I said, hey, let's listen to a Tim show. Put it on, and that set the tone for the day. I mean, I was in high rock mode. Boom, telling everybody I worked with, hey, you got to check these guys out. Hey, you got to check these guys out. Sending text messages, doing this, thanking Tim. I mean, it was game on with Gunshine. Unbelievable. I listened to that album 3 times that day. I think I listened to it 3 times Saturday. I listened to it twice today. I've had them on my radio show, playing them, getting the word out. Well, now tonight you get to meet the band. And these guys are cool, man. I mean, if you haven't checked them out yet, don't be under a rock like me. Check them out. Get to know them. So tonight, you're going to meet them. You're going to meet Austin and Jordan. Jordan's the lead singer. Austin's the lead guitarist. That guy smokes a Les Paul, dude. Let me tell you. But first, we're going to meet Tim, who is our co-host.
Do they need to meet me? Honestly, like,
okay, everybody knows
98% of the people that watch your show probably already know who the fuck I am.
Right, and dude, they all left.
Not in a bravado kind of way. I'm just saying I'm old hat now. I'm like,
You're
yeah, we know the dude with the long blonde hair.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, there's Tim. So let's bring on Jordan and Austin. There's Jordan and there's Austin.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for all the kind words about the record and about the band in general. And
my pleasure. It is absolutely. Thank you for the album. Yeah. Thank you for working on it. Thank you for getting the music out there. I mean, first off, y'all are from Pensacola, Florida.
Yeah.
There is not a band that comes to mind except for Dropkick Murphys from Pensacola, Florida. I mean, how did you guys? Because when I first heard you, when Tim sent me the link and I checked you out, I could have sworn Memphis or Nashville even. You've got that bluesy, hard edge, kind of soulful 80s street cat house. You got all these different vibes going on, but that Memphis sound comes through really, really, really strong.
It's interesting you say that. I spent a long time in Nashville. I worked with Hearst Management. I lived in Phoenix, but I was going back and forth between Nashville and in Phoenix. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely all that soulful bluesy edge there. But man, it's just in my blood, dude. I'm one of the biggest, rock fans. Coming up to be getting ready for a show tonight. I'm wearing a lovely shirt this evening. I'm just one of the biggest AC/DC fans in the world. I've always loved rock, and it's just always been a major passion of mine. And Austin hit me up, I guess about 1.5 years, 2 years ago now, and said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna write some songs." And it's been a roller coaster. That is just absolutely insane, and it's amazing.
So you guys really did think. You guys probably the main 2 songwriters then, or is it a collaboration with everybody?
It's a collaboration. I mean, I write a lot of lyrics and stuff. I've always been a lyricist, and Austin is phenomenal with melodies. And we bring in the guys, and we just say, "Hey, man, we need some rhythm here. We need some licks here," and we'll have James and Pat in on that. And I mean, they definitely do their part as well. Yeah.
Nice.
So that raises a question for me then. So, well, you had already mentioned that you lived in other areas, but is the primary core of the band, are they all indigenous to Florida? And was this the culmination of, everybody kind of being in different projects and different bands, and you're kind of headhunting and like, he's good, let's get him. How does Gunshine form? Where does that idea manifest from?
So Jordan, I guess I'll just explain it the same way I did on the Zoom earlier. But yeah, so it was really so I'm from Gainesville, Florida, actually. So like, you know, you were mentioning some of like the swampiness, the bluesy, you know, soul kind of stuff. I grew up playing like Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff and Hendrix, and Tom Schultz from Boston was really big for me, like the super melodic. Like Jordan's mentioned, I'm like a melody guy. I'm really big on stuff that's melodic and writing vocal melodies and melodies on guitar and just everything. So, and then kind of combining that with the edgier stuff like AC/DC and GNR and kind of, you know, meshing those two worlds. But anyways, so it kind of, in terms of the band, I lived in Hollywood, California, actually for about 3 years when I was touring with another band called New Year's Day, and we did tours like Hailstorm, In This Moment, Godsmack, Falling in Reverse, and you know, I was actually over in Europe right before the pandemic hit, and it was like a day before the world shut down is when we flew home. You know what I mean? So it was, but the thing is, throughout that whole, because I didn't write any of the New Year's Day music. I was just more of like a touring kind of guitar player, because that's really not like my cup of tea is what we do in Gunshine, you know.
Right.
So I had always wanted to start this band for the longest time, even when I had those other things going on, but I could not find all the right pieces to make it happen. So I had known the drummer James for about 6 or 7 years, and he would play drums on my like guitar instrumental stuff or like whatever else I was working on. And, you know, we were just trying to find singers the whole time. And I was out there in Hollywood even, you know, and one of the biggest cities there are, and trying to find people. We drove all the way across the country to like North Carolina, tried different people, and it just never really was the right thing. You know, it could have been the right thing if I wanted, you know, if I wanted to settle or whatever, you know, but we were just so picky about really wanting this to be,
you gotta be
execute the vision of like what we really wanted to do. So, you know, and I mentioned like the swampiness, the guitar kind of bite, and Jordan has that in his voice. He's hit the way I'm playing guitar and like the swamp, like that's what I heard immediately. It's like he's got that the bite, you know, that I'm kind of doing on guitar. So it just kind of, the minute or the day he came over, we finally found. So anyways, finish the story. I came home off tour when the COVID stuff happened, and someone said, "Hey, you need to get that guy over to your house." And because I went back home to Pensacola, and that's where Jordan is, you know, was living or whatever. And they were like, "You got to try that guy, you know, to sing over your stuff." So he came over, and when we Wall Said to Call was the first song we did together.
Right. Nice.
And we wrote that. I had like the music demoed out, and we wrote the vocals on top of it in a day. And we kind of just knew instantly, like it just clicked, you know. And I kind of thought, best case scenario, I'm gonna find someone to maybe put vocals on a couple songs or whatever, and that'll be it. But it just clicked, and it was just one of those things where we knew we had a solid band.
Yeah, I know that feeling. So I mean, I don't play anymore. I kind of had a pipe dream when I was in my 20s and stuff, you know. And
we all,
yeah, you know, and you get into that band environment, and there's just a feeling, you know what I mean? There's just like a special moment in the room when like you're like, look, you know, you're looking at that person's looking at you, and you just, there's that natural feel. And I was going to say, when you brought up Jordan's voice in conjunction with your guitar, I just feel like they're excellent compliments to each other. They, you know what I mean? It's like it's like the good wine that goes with the steak kind of thing. You know, it's like that perfect match in a foodie kind of way.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Guys, we got to figure out which one of us is the wine and which one of us is the steak.
Right.
Exactly. So then I had a question for Jordan.
I might be the wine, because I put the word Cabernet in one of our new songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
hey,
did,
already new songs. Oh shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
we have an entire new album that'll be releasing. It'll be
well, good. Let me scratch that question off my list then. Yeah, number 7 answered. Done. So the obviously background, right? So Austin, you gave us some of your background. Jordan, other than living in different demographical areas, like where do you come from? I mean, I'm I'll admit it. I'm 54. I grew up in the 80s. You know, I didn't exactly live in Hollywood and didn't run around Sunset Boulevard.
Every freaking
But
day of it too.
Yeah. So like, where do you come from in terms of like, I was in my bedroom singing to, Leif Garrett records, and then that led inevitably to me.
It's a very interesting story. That's a very interesting story. Like, my entire family's musical. I'm actually a distant cousin of Elvis Presley as well.
Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Yeah. So it's my family. We were always singing. We're always playing, always doing something. It was just kind of that. And I was actually born in Central Florida, and then I grew up in upstate South Carolina. Actually, I grew up in Pickens County.
Nice.
That's where I grew up.
Right up the street.
Yeah. So you were from Seneca. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So it's my brother. He's a phenomenal guitarist as well, and I just really wanted to play with my brother, but why am I gonna play guitar when he was in the room?
Yeah.
So I wanted to play with him, so I learned piano, so we could play together. And then eventually, obviously, I learned guitar, and then drums and bass, and everything came with it. But man, I wound up living in Maryland and playing in the DC area, and then I wound up out in Phoenix, and it's just from Phoenix, I signed with Hearst Management. I worked with several artists there. J. Michael Harder was his band director for a while out of Nashville, and Mila Mason was her keyboard player for a while. I did a lot of writing, a lot of my job with Mike was to be on the road and to write songs with him while traveling,
right,
and also lead the band. So it was a lot of fun. But it just I kind of got a little burnt out of how Nashville was. A little tired of it. There were some laws that had changed and made everything real finicky. And I said, man, you know what? I'm just gonna go live on the beach and play in a piano bar. I may have the chance at a wife and a dog or something. And come to find out I'm better off with just a dog. So we're gonna
hey, I feel you, brother.
I'm not saying nothing.
I got it. I'm a three-wiener household, man. It's me and two dachshunds. So I know how you feel.
I mean, I had said, just before COVID, I had said, man, I want to do something creative again. I don't know what it's going to be. It's going to be creative, of some sort. I'm going to write something. So I hit up a few friends of mine. A friend of mine, Duke Pendleton, and we wrote some songs. And there's a local girl, Jessie Ritter. I wrote a song with her. And so when Austin hit me up, I was like, man, yeah, that's great. My influences, man, I've always been like, kind of growing up, my mother would literally beat the crap out of us if we listened to anything other than praise and worship music.
Oh,
so
boy.
we left the house. And then we had like a Stevie Ray Vaughan CD stuck away or a Leonard Skinner CD stuck away. And man, we'd blast that thing and just play along with that and stuff. And started a band with my brother. Not really young. I've been playing everywhere, man. I've been doing it all. Then I've been playing at piano bars a while as well too. I actually started the first piano bar I ever played at. It was called Ivory Moon in Summerville, South Carolina.
Okay,
nice.
And yeah,
right up the road, 10 minutes
right
from my
down
house.
the road from you, man. Yeah,
yep.
It's actually right there by the Dog and Duck. I just remember the
Dog and Duck. Yep,
that was there. Yeah,
the names of these places.
It was right in that same plaza. Yeah.
Dude, if you come back now, you wouldn't recognize the areas. I mean,
it's called the Duck and the Dog now. They had to change it up.
they switched it around, huh?
Exactly.
Now there's an interstate.
The place is delicious. It's really good.
Hey, some of the food here is absolutely amazing. Now, okay. I lost my train of thought. I went out the window. Now, you talked about your influences, and you guys got some different influences.
Yeah.
And you can hear it in the music. Yeah, like I mentioned, it sounds, you can't pinpoint where it's coming from because it doesn't surprise me that you have melodic rock roots. You have, these other roots because they all gel together. and you can tell it in the playing and the singing. You can't say, okay, this is, you could label you sleaze rock because, man, your voice has got that. And, of course, Bathroom Wall, that's, and it's just sleazy. And, there's a few really great sleazy tracks on here. But then you get other songs that are, deep. And you're like, wait a minute, how do I put my finger on these guys? I don't know what to do here, and then that's the kind of music that I think a lot of people are searching for right now is something familiar, but different.
Well, it's something real, that's what people have been looking for. I mean, that's yeah. Well, I mean, that's even one of the titles of our songs.
Yep.
For the album, it's we just felt that same passion when you listen to so much of the rock, that was coming out. It's like people were writing about their drug addictions and how many times they cut themselves and all this, and I'm like, rock's not dead. It's like, just, write about the fun stuff that rock's about. I mean, every single AC/DC song, has that same style of formula. Styx, even, for instance, Styx just has that same, just really hyper vibe, with every single song. Tommy Shaw, man, that dude's a phenomenal guitar player. People don't talk
phenomenal.
No, and they're on M3 this year, right? Styx is playing M3. So, well, then that brings me to a question for Austin. So, to come off of that one, with everybody kind of coming in with kind of a collective vision of this is how we want to write and this is what we want to do. How do you feel Gunshine in its ideology in terms of that writing? How do you feel you're able to avoid some of that pigeonholing? Because Mike made a good point. He's like, I can hear all these influences, and I don't think that you can ever be devoid of that. Meaning, you're going to hear people's influences and where they play. But then you have this road you have to walk. And that is, do I get kind of aimed at saying, well, they sound like so-and-so. And then maybe that kind of takes some of the focus off of you because it's like maybe to them that's saturation. So I was just curious how you guys look to write so that you can avoid some of that pigeonholing and you stand out and make yourselves different.
Yeah. So this is really, really, really big for me. So I'm glad you asked that. For me, it's always, I need to be able to hear it in my head. And I don't think about anything. Like, I don't think about what people are going to think or what a formula or anything like that. I just want to grab it out of the air. I just want to do it, like, write what feels right. You know what I mean? Like, it's always got to come from an artistic place and never a mathematical place. And that's how for me, I'm able to keep ideas fresh because, I mean, let's face it, with art, with songwriting, there's 1,000 things you can do, but what I prefer it almost to tell me what to do. I prefer the idea to tell me what to do. And like, so I really have to, I write a lot of things when I don't have my guitar with me. A lot of the, like, I might hum like a vocal melody into my phone over, like, because I'm hearing it in my head. I'm hearing, like, okay, it's the verse. I hear the verse going here and the chorus going here. And then it's just, it keeps it fresh that way. And you're not forcing anything and you're not worried about, hey, is this sounding too much like this or like that? The influences just naturally seep in subconsciously. But it's never consciously. It's never like, wow, I want to sound like Guns N' Roses, because if you do that, then you're going to sound like them, or and that's how we do things and you're going to hear that. And that's why people can't quite put a finger on what we're doing, is because we don't put a finger on what we're doing. Right. We kind of,
it's original.
It's we'll go from, like, you'll hear on our new music, you're going to hear one song and you might be like, okay, the new EP is going to sound like this. But then you'll hear the next one and be like, what? That's completely left field.
No.
That's just and that's just the way we do it. We keep it very artistic, and just whatever comes out, that's what comes out.
Yeah, I think underneath of it, you kind of are saying, we write for ourselves. The intention is to connect with people out there, and we hope they dig what we're doing, but we write for ourselves. We write what's true to us.
Exactly. Right. I did mean to add to that that there is something in the back of my mind that I do want to write a banger. I do want to write a good song. You know what I mean? So,
right. Oh yeah.
and I do want to have a song that is catchy and that people will like. There's definitely like those thoughts in the back of my mind, but it's never like a, forcing anything to happen per se. But yeah, it's like a combination of keeping it original, but still something that is fun to listen to and palatable and,
Well, do you guys ever kind of go in with the idea that you're like, well, we kind of need a hook too. Do you know what I mean? I've always sort of felt like a lot of musicians hang their hat on like what's going to grab somebody, because if we go back 30 years and an A&R guy is going to listen to your demo, he's going to give you 30 seconds and he's hunting for a hook. Does that ever enter your thought process? Like, oh, that's a good hook.
Take that one. We have some ideas sometimes for like a song idea, but man, I've learned a lot of times just to start letting the song come out, just letting this, just write it out and let the hook just kind of take form naturally.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just very organic.
Right.
It happens like, we were writing Wall Said to Call on the first day, and I think actually, we had gotten like a first verse and like most of the chorus done, and I was thinking, what's gonna pull all this stuff in here together? And I think I actually went to the bathroom, and I came out, and I'm like, dude, the Wall said to call if I need anything, and he's
dude,
like,
it's perfect.
And it's just so it's. I've always been a big fan of, great songs are not written. Great songs are edited.
Exactly.
So it's when
yeah.
when we get into something like that, it's, you start kind of dialing everything in, and man, the hook just takes form.
Right.
And if it's a good song, it's a good song. You're gonna swear you heard it before. If
Right.
it's a good song.
Right, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Then, it's like,
oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, sorry. I was just gonna add to what he said too, and just kind of saying, it can, like melody wise, it might maybe start with like a chorus sometimes, like, I have the chorus hook, the melody wise, and then I'll maybe just scat it out, and then lyric wise, we might come back to it later, like Jordan said, and then kind of say, okay, let's get to that lyrically. But then a lot of the times, melody wise, it's kind of sometimes it's almost best to start with like, okay, you got that pop melody chorus that's gonna bang. Like we have a new song called Swing Away that's gonna be like our first single that we released. And that melody kind of came to me one day and I just knew, okay, that's a hooky chorus, you know what I mean? And then so it's always different, but it, like Jordan said, you just the main thing is letting it flow and just letting it happen. Whether it's from the music, the melody, the lyrics, whatever it is, just let it.
And don't worry about what the A&R guys think and all that. Man,
don't
worry about
fuck
it.
the A&R guys.
They're going to say no. How many years did they tell you to somebody like Chris Stapleton no?
Right.
They're always going to say no. They're going to listen to 30 seconds of a song. I know my publisher in Nashville, Plugger, actually, I had a Plugger. He wouldn't even listen. He would look at the lyrics and read them. And while he's reading the lyrics, if he couldn't picture the image taking form inside of his head, he wouldn't even hit play. He said, work on that.
Wow. Let's talk about pressure.
He always wanted to see an image. You can't basically say I was smiling. You got to say the description of what one might see if you were smiling. And it's like it's in that perfect little way. Wall Said to Call starts off, baby girl, what's your name? Pretty mama, little blue-eyed flame. You can see that.
And you can see it.
Yeah. Well, it's you're right.
It's in your head.
It's sometimes it's innuendo. Sometimes it's relevancy, but it's about painting a picture for someone so that they can kind of feel and taste the words as opposed to just kind of hearing them fly in one ear. Because I think it'd probably be difficult too. I mean, I sang, so I wrote a lot of lyrics too, and that was always a tough thing. It's like, but so then when it comes to writing, then are you coming from just what you feel at the time, or how you feel like a lyric might fit into that song, or do you try to write from a place where you're like, oh, this was a life experience. I remember being at that bar that one night, and this crazy shit happened, and and this makes a song for me.
It works both ways. I mean, the song "Swing Away" he was talking about, I had a very very heartfelt situation that happened in my life, and I came and I said, "Man, this is what I got on my heart. Here's what I'm writing." He said, "Well, I got a melody. Check this out." I'm like, "Yeah, that actually works." But no, Wall said to call. I just like, I mean, how many bathrooms we've been in at like a venue or a club or something, and you see some chick's number on the bathroom, you're like, "What the heck is this?" It's like, call if you need anything.
Right. But
you know what?
Never
seen that.
Nobody's ever thought the Wall said to call.
And that's
I mean, that's what's perfect about it.
Yeah, that's what worked out pretty well. Yeah.
That's what I was just getting ready to say. Is like, I love what Jordan did with that line, because it's like someone could easily say, "Oh yeah, we get it. Like bathroom wall, Jenny. Like, okay, it's been done before." But the way that he said it was in such a different way, and it had a different ring to it. The Wall said to call if I need anything, like that. It was just something
Go to
about
the bar,
the way.
buy me a drink. To the tour bus when I give you a wink. Come on, that's kick ass.
Anytime, any day. Wall said to call if I need anything.
There's your wink.
That is, I mean, you guys captured that song in such a creative way, and I think that's where my enthusiasm came from, just out of the gate, right? Because I'm not tough on music. I'm open-minded, and I get that you're going to hear a lot of bands that kind of fit a mold. I mean, I listen to a lot of Euro rock, the melodic, sleazy stuff from there. I grew up in the 80s, and what was so exciting for me, really, and I don't mean to put down the North American music scene, but I feel like the American rock genre listening crowd is a bit fickle, right? So they either latch on to what they know or knew, and that's it. And sometimes they're a little apprehensive to go looking for new stuff.
Definitely.
But when you lay out the North American landscape and you go, okay, well, what's new? Like, what's coming into the fold? You hear a lot of good stuff. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's tons of good shit out there. But when
you've got Greta, you got Honey,
yeah, you got that. I mean, you have Bad Marriage from up north. I mean, there's lots of bands that are cutting in and kind of like Native Sons. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that are starting to break the perimeter. And it was like, I'll be honest, I caught you guys on TikTok. That's how I found out about you. So it was from your all's account, and I'm sitting there and it's fucking 11 o'clock at night and I'm just flipping videos. And I saw the Club LA sign in the back, because I work with a band who plays down there. And I'm like, oh, I know that. And then it was something real that I heard. It wasn't even Wall said to call. It was something real. And I was like, no lie, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Who are these fucking guys? And then I sent it. Yeah. So, I mean, boom, my ears jump on shit really quick, because I listen to so much that it's easy for me to kind of go, oh yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's good, but I'm not going to put it on a platform. But like, if I didn't have two dachshunds laying on top of me at that moment in time, I literally almost shot off the couch, because I was like, I thought of Mike in that instant. I'm like, I just sent him basically, I think I sent him Wall said the call, and I said, you're welcome. That was all I said.
Yes, and that's what he said. He said, you're welcome. And I'm like, this fucking pompous ass thinks I'm really he's so good that I'm just gonna love everything. And I kind of was like, whatever. And I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
And it was
I think, and what you said is exactly, I mean, I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of exactly what you deal with sometimes too. And especially if you're doing something that maybe not a whole lot of people are doing, or whatever it is, you're going to deal with some of the psychology at first with people. Like, they don't want to think it's good, or they don't want to have their mind open to it. And they're going to automatically assume that it might be one thing, or nah, that can't be it, or that can't be. So you do deal with that a little bit. And like, it's funny you mentioned Europe. Like, when I did tours over there, man, they were just so loud and receptive at the shows, and just so like the biggest shows I played was over in Europe. So they definitely do like grab stuff instantly without worrying about all that external stuff. But that is half the battle for sure, is the getting people, you know, the psychology part of it with people, and getting them to like actually listen and listen to the whole album and pay attention. And
well, what's the Florida scene like though? Because I mean, I live right north of you in Atlanta. I mean, I'm not that far away. I've been to Pensacola. I've been down there. The guys I work with, they actually played in Pensacola on the like some kind of amphitheater kind of thingy on the beach. It was kind of a day-long festival. They're a tribute band, so it's a totally different thing. But are they receptive to original music in Florida? I mean, do you get buy-in from a lot of clubs? I mean, at Club LA, I could see them being conducive to it just because he's kind of an old school metalhead kind of guy. He's like a LA guy. Are they receptive to original bands?
They are very receptive. I've found that people really enjoy what it is that, you know, we're doing. I mean, we're on both the rock radio stations down here, and people enjoy it. You know, if we play a local show, people definitely show up. I mean, we sell more tickets than any other band in town, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely sure of that.
No, but you're right though. Yeah, there isn't really a whole lot original wise going on in the area. It definitely is kind of a lot of cover bands and stuff like that, kind of saturated, you know, stuff like that. But like Jordan said, the response has still been really good with everybody, you know, that has heard it locally. And yeah, it's definitely not a big, you know, too big of a market in terms of like, if you're going to compare it to like a, you know, obviously Atlanta, or I think Atlanta is actually one of our top listened to cities on Spotify. But
it is, yeah.
But yeah, so but for
we got one more.
So we wrote you guys. We actually wrote Atlanta into one of our songs. That'll be on the next album out.
Okay, because I was going to say I didn't hear it.
No,
I have to go back and listen to everything again.
Yeah, we have our new. Atlanta. It's going to be like our new, like if you know our song "Meet You There," our last song on the first album,
dude. Go ahead. That leads me into my next.
I'm glad you got that one.
Yeah, I was just gonna say this. We have a new song called "Till the End of Days," and that's kind of like our second album, "Meet You There." You know,
so it's a concept. We have a Gunshine concept, that kind of song series coming out.
No, I just mean in terms of like that's our big epic song of the second album.
Okay, Mike, you comment first, because Mike and I went back and forth. Like the first day we were like listening to the record. I'm like, dude, this song. Okay, so first of all, let me just flat out blanket it and go. The formula, the way you write, the way the songs come out. I don't know if you had 10 throwaways that you put in the bank and were like, we'll pull that out, pull those out for the next record, but 10 bangers the whole way from top to bottom, first song to last song on the album. We were like, yeah, but this one, but this one, you know, like, but we landed on the same one. So you go ahead, Mike.
Mine, it's the last song, "Meet You There." I mean, it's I can't say it's my favorite because I don't have one yet. They're all my favorite, but that song stands out to me because. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but it don't fit. It's kind of like, well, it fits
based on my Viking heritage,
but it's kind of like a culmination of them all put into one, but a different feel to it. It's like got such a different feel, and it's an amazingly good feel. I mean, it's not like it doesn't fit. It's like, well, who the hell are these guys? Where'd this song come? Now, Kick and Valentina did an album called "Imaginary Creatures," and it was. All 9 songs were just like, you know, all of it. And then their last song, "Imaginary Creatures," was a different feel. And everybody gravitated toward that song because of the fact that it was familiar but different. Yeah. Now, I just want to know, tell me about it. Tell me about this song. How did it come about? What is it based on? You know, tell me about it.
I'll let Austin take this one.
Yeah, I'll go, and then you can talk about the lyrics, because it was a super cool, super cool song for sure. The way it came together. So the song was written over the course of a few years. So the way I do things a lot, I have like my voice memos on my phone or like Dropbox. I'll put riffs and song ideas. That way, I'm just capturing lightning in a bottle over the course of years, and I don't have to come up with something on the spot. I've already captured those moments throughout time, and if I need a new riff, I just go in my archives or whatever and say I want to use this one. So, and that doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes we will come up with something on the spot, but in this case, it was a riff that, like the main riff was something I had for a few years. And then I wrote the whole breakdown bridge solo section while I was living in California. And I believe the chorus, and the chorus melody I'd kind of had for a while, but it was very much in that there's some sounds that you probably can't hear in the mix, but they're in there. There's a lot of I listen to a lot of 80s new wave. So there's Duran Duran. There's some synthesizer stuff going on, which you can hear in the intro, but that stuff's happening in the chorus to give you that feel. And we also referenced System of a Down, BYOB. Everybody's going to the party. That kind of that halftime chorus. And so when people just say Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue, there's really, when you pull up the skirt, there's a lot more things going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could go into my diatribes about what I was picking little things out. There's this one little lick, and forgive me for doing this, but it was just because I heard it. But it's during the verse, and it's the underlying guitar line. It's like that kind of staccato-y kind of thing going on. And I went, you know what that sounds like? And I want to tell him every time. I'm like, it was almost like Flashback Heart Attack by EZO, right? Back in the 80s and stuff, this really old thing. But I'm like, but I'll be honest. I mean, I have a lot of favorites on the album, but Meet You There stood out. I got to that song, easy. And I was like the RCA dog staring inside the gramophone. I was like, what is this? This is great. And I hope that it leads to more. I'm not telling you to change. I'm just saying it was nice to see that different. And I noticed that the lyrical content was dramatically different in that one.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had that song musically done before I ever came into the picture. I want to say, Austin, what you had about maybe 3 or 4 songs already demoed music wise when I came into the picture. That was one of them, and he played me that one on day one. He said, "This is it's like an epic song, and it's going to be one of our some kind of majorly epic song." I actually listened to that song for, I want to say, about 3 weeks before I ever sat down and did anything. And in the conversations of it, I just said, man, I'm just picturing a big place.
Yeah.
A big place, something majestic and big or something. I'm like, I'm Viking blood. So it's I was just picturing I don't know, Valhalla,
exactly.
Something. So immediately, I just started writing images. I'm like, if I'm thinking of Valhalla and Vikings, what am I going to write an image of that? And I'm like, okay, sounds of pounding hoofs on the rolling fields.
Yeah.
Right.
The lush of the grassy hills, then I'm like, to the kingdom go along the red sand road. I was just writing images.
Right. And you can feel these images.
Close your eyes. You try to picture Valhalla.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're going to see.
Yeah.
You're going to see a red sand road in the middle of this lush green field with just horses, and you hear the sound of their hoofs just, beating the ground. And it's like, but it's actually a love song.
Yes.
Right.
It's actually a love song. It's basically saying, if I get to Valhalla before you do, just get on that road and head towards the kingdom, and I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was it.
Yep.
That was it. Yeah, it was
perfect.
Thank you.
Dude, it's perfect.
Thank you.
And you can tell with that song when you said you were letting it gel for 3 weeks, listening to it and just feeling it and getting the feeling out of it and trying, not rushing it, just like a fine wine. You just getting there. And once it was perfect, then you were like, okay, and you just started writing, and you can feel that in the song. That's why it's different. It stands out, but it's Gunshine definitely. But it's just such a great ending. A lot of times an album doesn't end great. Iron Maiden did it with "Hallowed Be Thy Name," epic. I mean, "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner," epic. Now this song was like one of them songs where you're getting to the end, you're like, okay, this is the last song. This is going to be my letdown. And a lot of albums do it to me. And it's like, okay, you can cut off the last two songs or whatever. This album didn't do it.
You can't do that these days.
No, you can't. You've got to have.
You can't do that these days. You can't write 3 or 4 good songs and then have like 6 or 7 crappy ones on the album.
Absolutely
Everything
not.
you put out, you've got to shoot for #1 gold with every single song.
I think you guys could legit put out 10 singles off that record.
Yeah,
10 singles.
Yeah, we did.
That's what.
Wait till you hear the next 5. You ain't heard anything yet. What do you hear the next?
Whoa! We all cocky now. Look at this.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. Austin and I spent a lot of time on these 5 songs. I've called them super songs.
Super songs.
We were writing them.
It's super songs coming.
We threw out every single rule possible. When the radio stations are like, make sure it's within that 4-minute range so we can play it. Now we're like, we're going to give you a song that is 8 minutes and 35 seconds called Till the End of Days. That's what we're going to do. And we're like, we're not playing. We're already okay. We're going to give you a 6-minute song called Checkmate.
You heard it. You heard it first here. Checkmate, End of Days. We're getting the track list, people.
Yeah. But yeah, this we're really excited about all the songs, but it's definitely going to be like I kind of said earlier, like each song you can't really put a finger on what the next one's going to sound like. They're all wild cards. It's just like, and because we just wrote like whatever came out, but like Jordan said, we really focus on each one and writing the best possible song we can for that song. You know what I mean? Like we just really focus in on it, and yeah, we really appreciate you guys liking Meet You There, because we were really proud of all the songs, and especially that one. And
especially that one,
It's kind of amazing that me and Tim were both on the same page. And I don't think we even mentioned it to each other about Meet You There.
No. I mean, well, I think we did kind of talk about it near the end, because I mean, obviously, I was going through the whole entire record, and I think just from we're kind of like the carrier pigeons of music, right? So I mean, I think Mike and I have a typical goal, right? Because we want to disseminate new music to people. We want people to understand that it's bands like yourself that are going to be carrying the torch when some of these older, more anthology bands start to kind of fall off the radar, right? You're not going to have the Teslas, in the next 5 to 8 years or something potentially. Right. You can never bank on it because they're getting older. And so we try to keep the enthusiasm, especially people who are more sedentary, in the sense that we're just consuming it, right? We're listening. So that's what switches me on. And so I maybe latch on to maybe different songs than what I think other people might latch on to. Maybe they want the more hooky song, the more, Wall said to call, because it's kind of fun in a weird sort of, in a weird way. It's like it's an upbeat song, and it's like what anybody can identify with. But I latched on to Meet You There, and just because I like to get a little bit deeper in the music. But being the carrier pigeons, we've been trying to push this hard. How has it felt? Obviously, you're working on your next record. Have you guys been mostly in entire control of the whole destiny? Did you produce the entire record? Did you make all the calls on what songs were going to fit where? And this is the flow of the record, and this is how the singles are going to come out. I see you're on Grove Records. I don't know anything about them. I'm just guessing their ability for you to get the album out. But were you entirely, like, you're non-cancelable is my point.
Yeah, we were just independent on the first record, but we just recently signed with a new team called Fuel Music. They're going to put out our next one. And we do have a great manager and agent and everybody helping us. But in terms of like the engineering on the album, it was mixed and mastered by Chris Collier, and he does Korn, White Snake, all the
Mick Mars album.
Mick Mars, Mick Mars's new solo record that he's putting out. Did I say Lynch Mob, PDP, Fear Factory? He does all kinds of artists. I think he's doing the new Jason Hook record too. But phenomenal producer, engineer. So the way we do it, we demoed everything. We like to demo everything like 99%, pretty much get it ready to go before we go record. So most of the producing, all of the writing was done by us. But then, we go into the studio and actually get the production quality, get the sound quality. Chris mixed master, and that was actually before we met Pat. So Chris actually, fun fact for you, Chris Collier played the bass on our first debut album.
Yeah.
So he's a phenomenal engineer, producer. So
musicians. So then we had to find somebody who was an epic, lead guitarist capable of playing bass on that album even. And I'm like, it just so happens I have a good friend of mine of about 8 years who he might just be the guy for the job. And it worked out. It was great.
I'm telling you, there ain't a weak instrument. Sometimes you've got like a drummer that really just is there for laying the beat, like AC/DC. Phil Rudd is just laying the beat. But if you let him out of his box, he's a pretty good drummer, but he's just there to lay the beat for the guys in the band. You've got a great guitar player. You got a great vocalist, and, the bass player and the drummer just keep the pocket, keep the groove, keep the rhythm. All four of you guys, you can hear it in the music. You put headphones. I'm a big headphone kind of guy. I love headphones. Listen to the music. At least the first time you listen to an album, you listen to it. You get every piece and you can hear what everyone is doing. The drums, the bass lines are killer on this album. The drum timing, the tempo changes with the drums is like daylight. I mean, them tempo changes when you're not even expecting. It's like you hear it first. When I first heard it, I was like, what? And then it goes into it. I'm like, oh my God, that was cool. And then you do it again. And each one of you guys complements the other and brings out the better in each one.
Well, we're all multi-instrumentalists. I mean, I personally play 9 different instruments. Pat plays probably around the same. James plays multiple instruments. I mean, it's like, we just, Austin, he can grab many instruments as well.
You can grab the phone book and play it, and it sounds great just flipping pages. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
We can do it.
Dude,
oh, thank you guys very much. But James, because we didn't mention him yet, he is a phenomenal drummer, like insanely good. And he's, because obviously a lot of the songs, you take a song like Well Said to Call, we were going for that party vibe. We wanted to keep the groove going. So he's playing for the song in a lot of those songs. But there in this next EP that he goes a lot more off. He goes off in these songs.
Wow, cut him loose a little bit more.
Wow.
Yeah. You're gonna get to hear some crazy drumming and stuff too. The new stuff.
I think that's all about the maturation and the progress of the band, right? Like, you maybe try to keep it home and a little bit safe at first, and then it's like the first kid, second kid theory, right? They're like the first kid, you treat them like like they're made of china, and then the second kid you let them play with knives. You know what I mean?
Right,
you learn some of your lessons, and then you can kind of let people go. And Mike was talking about kind of there's a guy that kind of like plays drums just for the sake of playing, like a pocket drummer or something like that. What I get when I listen to you guys is that I just feel like everybody just sort of naturally fit in the conglomeration of the band. Like everybody just kind of already knew what to play, how to play it, how it fits, so it flows right. I was going to say another one that jumps out at me, Mike, and to you guys, is No Way, right? So that one was another grabber too, because it kind of has that bluesy kind of grimy beginning, and then the tempo just picks right up as you go into the verse. And then personally, this is just my own personal wish, is that I want life to imitate art. And now, like, when somebody at work is giving me shit, I want to like walk around. I wish I had the same vocal range as Jordan, but I want to walk around asking people, who the hell are you trying to manipulate? But like in his voice, and sing it in and that intonation. So here's my one word.
Trying to manipulate.
There you go. See, and I want like 3 dudes standing behind me going, no way. It would be kind of like, be kind of brooding, but I think it would kind of make a point. I'm kind of the oddball at work anyway. I'm like the only one that looks like me. But I kind of went down. I kind of went. It's fun being the odd one in the group, because I think it makes you more interesting. But the point that I kind of, so I'm gonna ask I'll even ask you guys. All right. So before I give my one word, I was like, how would I describe Gunshine and the whole ambiance? Like, what if you could describe yourself in one word? What would that word be? Your sound, that's a tough question. I know.
That's a tough question, dude.
Man, there's many words you could use, but it's the one word that I get from people all the time. They just come up and say, "You guys are badass."
Okay.
I like badass.
That's what I get from people all the time. I'm not even saying that. If it was
it's true. It's a very true statement.
I would say new, fresh,
I was gonna say fresh, And
yeah, that's me saying that, but man, people just all the time, you guys are badass. That's what I get.
I think I told Tim that.
Thank you.
Didn't I say badass?
That's the biggest compliment I could ever get. She'll be mean about, you're badass. I'm like, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
I'd say original. I mean, you guys are original. Totally 100%. The word original fits here.
My word was, and it goes along with, is attitude. To me, that's what I heard from the get-go. Was just flat out attitude. Like, there was no holding back. It was like, we're going to punch you and kick you in the face right now, and you're going to deal with that for the next 10 songs. And I think that that's what makes you stick out. And so I saw Chris Knapp kind of jumped on, and he's like, hey, we got to get you guys on work. And there's a part of Mike and I think that's kind of like, we try to permeate it to that side of things. You guys would fit in on Mork wonderfully.
Easy.
I don't know if you like being on cruises for 5 days and going to
no, we're down. We are down.
We're down. Okay, Larry, you heard it. Let's book these guys.
Yeah, everybody tell Larry Morand.
Larry Morand.
Larry Morand.
What we can do.
Sorry, Chris.
Each cabin has a little mailbox. And if we could get, I mean, the cruise is in May, but if we get like, say you got stickers, you got like 1,000 stickers. Let's get them, and I'll put them in mail. Me and Tim will just own the ship and put a Gunshine sticker in each person's mailbox.
I like that.
I like
we have 1,000, 2,000 people that are a captive freaking audience.
Did you say 2? It's more like 4.
Okay. I wasn't counting the crew and everybody. I don't know how many people there. I just lowballed it. But you could just, I did that with another band. I just put stickers or something, I think a card or something like that, in everybody's mailbox. And it's like, you just take an hour and go down one side of the ship. And then the next day, go down one side of the ship. Yeah. By that time, everybody's got this little sticker. And then they go check it out.
It's pretty cool.
That's kind of where we're at this year too, is really trying to break in. Like you mentioned, you found us on TikTok earlier. Like that's what we've really been, just whatever we can do. We've been kind of going crazy on the social media game to try to just be heard and be seen. And that's kind of what we're this year is that, because that's the thing is we put the album out in June, and there's so many people that have not heard it yet. And so we get there's been a lot of awesome, positive response. There's been a lot of awesome response when people have heard it. So that's our goal, is really just trying to break in this year so that we are known enough that people know, to get us on Monsters Rock and all these other things. It's just a matter of people need to hear the name and see us more to,
Well, it's certain. I think the road is a lot shorter now to those end destinations. I mean, maybe you guys would be shocked to know, and this is something that Mike and I found kind of after the fact, because to us it was like, holy shit, who are these guys? And I was like, I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna find out, they got maybe like 3 or 4 songs out on Spotify or something. They're still really kind of crisp and clean and new. And then we get into some of these other groups on Facebook, the ones that we're involved in, and it's like these, and I'm like, we're posting the songs, we're sharing it out, and then these people are like, oh yeah, this album came out last year. They were like in my top 10 list for the year,
right?
And we were like, what? Like, how did we completely, no pun intended, miss the boat? You know what I mean? And so it was a little shocking. So
late to the party.
Yeah. So that's our goal. So I tried to get you on. Well, I got you on. Played on Rachel's Rock Refuge this past Wednesday. She's got a global audience, so she's played on 5 different national side radio stations. So, we'll certainly carry the torch for you and pass the word. But I certainly think that you would fit in on Mork brilliantly. I think people would be very receptive to you.
Mork,
yeah,
and pre-party M3. I mean, there's so much.
If Dave Dillman is watching, M3 pre-party,
he always watches.
We need to get on the we want to get on the Danny Wimmer ones too, because I played a lot of those with New Year's Day. So now it's about because I think he got turned on to us at some point and said he wanted to get us on. Maybe I don't know if it's next year or whatever, because they book those things so far out.
Yeah, so about a year or so in advance.
Yeah, this year is all about discovery for us and opening just getting a whole new audience. And
so what are the general plans then? Are you just trying to pull in bookings now? Are you trying to pull like a small little tour? I mean, I know that sometimes those can be a little draining monetarily, but
we're going on tour with Buck Cherry at the end of April.
Oh shit!
Yeah, those guys are great.
We don't
our second tour with them. Yeah,
we don't know how many dates yet. We don't have the tour hasn't, or the dates haven't been announced. So but we have a local show. We have a show at Club LA actually, April 7th. So we have that, and then like Jordan said, we have supposed to have dates with Buck Cherry at the end of April, and
then our agent's putting together some more stuff for us. Yeah, so it's
good.
We may even do a headline at some point this year. Like, we're really trying to. This TikTok stuff kind of started going off the chain for us, so we're really trying.
TikTok is where it's at, dude.
We are viral on TikTok right now.
TikTok is where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, my buddy over here, Tom, said he found you on TikTok.
Yeah,
he's been watching it. He's like, these guys are great. TikTok is where it's at. That's where you're gonna hit the younger generation on TikTok, and even people like me and Tim, we're on there. We're like not all about it, but you discover new music through there as well. If you take one, Instagram is about gone. Facebook, it's hard. But TikTok, it seems like that is the thing where if you're on there and you got little catchy things, boom, 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 you get the views, and then they go over to Spotify and check you out.
So what's that journey been? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and that's been the most rewarding part of it all, is that the people that are finding us on TikTok are actually going and buying merch and streaming us on Spotify and commenting on YouTube, commenting on Facebook. So there's actually been a lot of new fans and new traction from the TikTok stuff. So, and we just ever since Christmas, we've been just posting every day and just trying to, and then we just started having some videos just kind of pop off. So that's kind of our plan right now, is just keep hitting that super, super hard, trying to just keep getting more people to hear us.
Well, give us sort of like an introspective to the journey of a band trying to cut through in today's time and day. I mean, obviously we grew up in a time when you hung out on the street corner and maybe shared a tape or something like that. I know the music landscape has changed dramatically in the last handful, last few decades. What is that journey like? You're like, hey, I got a product, I want to put it out there. Where do we start?
I think I think it's just a lot of experimenting and figuring out what's working and paying attention to the times. Like you said, like that, the way you guys did things back then, that's what you were doing then. And then right now we talk about TikTok because that's what's going on now, you know? So it's like, you kind of pay attention to what are the best ways to get seen nowadays. And like, and you just got to keep watching, got to keep watching it all the time and watch the YouTube marketing videos and look at other bands and see what they're doing. And actually that's how I got the idea for the TikTok. The way we're doing those videos is a few of the bands that I toured with, they were doing that, the live clips with the studio audio, and those videos were getting like millions of views. And so I said, well, let's try it for us. And sure enough, that's been working for us. So it's just a lot of trial and error, finding what works for the time and what works for you. And, whatever you got to do, it is tough. I mean, that's the hardest part is like, if you have something cool or if you have a cool product, you got to find a way to get discovered, and that's the most important thing.
You got to find a way to market it, and the marketing has changed.
Yeah, well, it definitely worked because you can see I've taken the Wall Said to Call movie video shoot and put it into my room. So that's it.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All your colors are right there in Tim's. He said he was on Amazon today. Amazon same day delivery.
All same day delivery shit. That's what I did. Yeah, I blew off work for this.
All Gunshine now, man. I mean,
that's everything. So awesome. Yeah, thank you guys so much. That's so awesome. I'm glad y'all are digging it.
This is really honestly been great because I haven't really been ignited by anything in the lower 48 in a long time. Most of the time we'll just be droning on and on about, oh, did you hear the new Crash Diet album and stuff? Do you guys listen to any of the Euro stuff? Is that part of, I guess that was one of my questions.
I focus on my own art. I just try to stay focused on just what all that we're doing and stuff. I mean, honestly, man, Austin keeps up with everything way more than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I to be honest, I'm kind of the same though. Nowadays I'm writing more than I'm listening to stuff, but I will say, like you talked about the Euro stuff, Ghost is phenomenal.
The new melodic stuff they're putting out. And then Joe Elliott just did a cover of one of their songs. I was just more curious because not only are you musicians yourselves and you have your own focuses, it always is curious to me to try to hear what other people are listening to, at the current time, like, what invigorates you. It's okay to be in your space. I'm not criticizing at all. I was just curious, what excites you musically, because like for all I know, it's classical music. You know what I mean?
Like I know for me personally, I listen to all kinds of stuff. Like I grew up on like KC and the Sunshine Band, and
hell yeah.
Yeah. So like a lot of like
Stills and Nash.
Yeah.
It was a lot of like poppy, like Britney Spears and the poppy stuff, like the boy bands and all that. And that's honestly, I think that's where I get like some of my like kind of pop inspiration, like my melodies and things like that. But I just love anything catchy, anything good, and it's not limited to rock and metal for sure. Like I love just whatever's good.
Yeah, whatever.
It's good.
As much as I hate to, I had a limited time I could be here.
Oh, that's okay.
And I have I'll leave you with the best quarterback a band could ever have, Mr. Austin Ingerman.
Well, thank you, Jordan. We appreciate it. And before we wish you all the success in the world. And we hope that's nowhere but up from here.
Man, let's do it again soon. I look forward to meeting you in Atlanta, and we'll hang out in Charleston before long.
We got to get you guys playing up here. That's the next goal.
We're gonna book you.
We'll be up there.
Right on.
Yep.
All right, man.
I'm gonna head off. I'll leave you guys with Austin.
I'll see you, man.
Later.
Take care.
Yeah,
Down
we
to
do.
3, 4 enter.
Yeah,
Tim
Jordan.
in Atlanta. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Jordan's got it. He does a house gig. He at the piano bar, and that's actually how I met him. The piano bar in town, and he totally kills that. He plays and sings, and they have to like take requests and entertain the crowd and all. It's a good way to just kind of like keep the funds coming in. And
yeah, we kind of have the same thing here on Thursday nights at a little club around the corner. That's what I was going to say, is that I'm not being braggadocious. I'm just saying I might have some people here locally.
Nice.
And matter of fact, a friend of mine has a booking agency up here. And we could talk about that later. And I passed your album on to him today to listen, because they're hosting tomorrow night. Spread Eagle is in town with a couple local bands that are opening up for them. So I know at times, I mean, you guys, Pensacola is not that far.
Right.
You know, it's only like about a 6 or 7 hour drive.
Yeah.
If another, you know, national is coming through and they're looking for someone to fill like an opener slot, I think that would be a great introduction into the area, at least into the Atlanta scene. I'll be honest. It depends on what side of 285 you're on, that kind of dictates, you know, where you fall. If you're on the eastern side of that, it tends to be more covers and tributes. And then if you go to the western side, then it's originals are a little bit more there. But I mean, there's a great venue here in town, and I mean, for tomorrow night, you guys have been a great compliment. So I'll keep planting seeds there. But we have the same thing though. We have dueling pianos here on Thursday night. They do the same kind of thing.
I want to say there was a venue, was it Buckhead Theater that I played?
Buckhead Theater.
Yeah, Buckhead Theater downtown. Yeah, down in Midtown. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
me and Tim just went to Wasp there.
Yeah.
Wasp.
I played there a time or two with New Year's Day. I believe it was there, and I don't remember where in Atlanta, but yeah, we'll definitely be. So we're actually on TKO, which is a booking agency. They have like Buck Cherry and Hinder and a bunch of bands. So yeah, that's kind of how we're on the Buck Cherry stuff. So
that's
man,
crazy, because I'm seeing them in Myrtle Beach, and they're with Skid Row. And then a month and a half later, you're going to be with them. So that I'm going to have to, Swift, we got to find a way to get to one of these Buck Cherry shows.
Yeah,
we will. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We're all sort of like in the same kind of demographical area. We're only a few states away, so it'll all work out. I'm excited. So when are you guys looking to put out the next? Not that I'm bored of the first record already, but I'm like, when's the next record?
Yeah, we're so the first single is we're talking about like mid-March, sometime in March to come out.
Wow.
And then I believe we're gonna do second single in April, and then I think the whole EP is gonna come out around that time. April.
Don't waste any time. Keep the train moving.
Yeah.
See, and that's what I've noticed. You do it perfectly, like other bands should do it, and there are other bands that do it. Like Native Sons does the same way. They stay relevant. They don't release an album and then kind of go away, go on tour. You guys have released the album, and I'm watching, and I'm seeing daily things, daily TikToks, daily this, daily that. And you're talking, okay, we're going to release a single in March. Then we're going to release a single in April. Then the album comes out. And then there'll be another single. And then you'll go on tour. So you're staying fresh. You're staying in people's minds constantly.
Yep.
You're not going away.
It's funny because and that's why, the first record was 10 songs. Cause really I'm an albums guy. I love, I'm really kind of old school at heart. Like I do love just the thought of doing an album and like we talked about before with us kind of having all these different influences and writing all kinds of stuff. I like having that variety and different songs, whatever, but it was kind of our manager's idea because we started to write for album number 2. And we had like 4 or 5 songs, and he's like, "Dude, you guys should just go record those. Like, those are great. You guys need to just go record those and start, and just start releasing them as singles because you got to keep things moving." And it really does. It just makes so much more sense nowadays to do it that way. And I'm glad that we had, like the full length album, and then I'm sure we'll do some more full lengths as well. But it is good to keep, especially in the beginning stages, it's good to keep that momentum really strong.
You keep kind of dangling the carrot out there. You keep begging for more. It's like, okay, 5 is good, but like, when's the next grouping coming out? So, and maybe that's one shift that the music industry has taken, is that, people have kind of, like, for example, there are a lot of bands now that are dropping singles that don't even make the album later.
Don't even make an album.
So they just kind of throw, something out for you to be happy with for a little while until they can push something else forward.
Right.
Right.
Tesla does that.
I'm definitely looking forward to the EP. I mean, this last week has just kind of been sort of like an eye opener for us. So
it's been great, man. I mean,
That's so awesome.
I am kind of a guy, and I'm one of them. I wouldn't say I'm fickle. I am, but I try to keep an open mind. But I'm one of them guys that you better grab me in the 30 seconds of the song. Because and I gotta be that way. I do my own radio show and this and that, so I kind of gotta be that way because so much stuff comes out and at me that okay, I'll give you 30 seconds, grab me. And if I last a little longer, then okay, it's good. But there's a lot of times 10, 15 seconds, I'm going, nope, sounds the same as this. It doesn't stand out, or whatever, whatnot. And every song on that new Gunshine album, there's other bands that are the same way. 30 seconds, wow, I got it. But then, you're talking about the next EP extending the length of the songs. I found myself not wanting the songs to end.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you're like, okay, can I get to the end of this album? Because, just to say I listened to it to the guy. But these ones I didn't want to end. So you're talking, okay, we might extend them a minute or two. I'm okay with that because I'd say half of these songs I didn't want them to end. They were just so good. And it was like, wow. And, you really got to hit somebody in that 30 seconds anymore because of the way the music industry is right now.
Yeah. And especially like just getting older and writing more songs, and the more songs I keep writing, that's how I enjoy to write music too, is really like, I want to, especially the way people's attention spans are, like you said, you got to grab them. And like, you take a song like Feel All Right. That's why I want to like the vocal to start like right away. It's, you take a song, I think Buck Cherry had that, what was it, All Night Long or something. Theirs was kind of like that too. I don't know, but that was the idea with Feel All Right, was to just start it right off the bat and just right from the get-go. So even on the new stuff, like even songs that might be 8.5 minutes, they're still written in a way that's to us doesn't feel long at all. They're always grabbing you. They're always, they start fast. Parts don't drag too long and things like that. So we really try hard to focus on keeping the train moving and trying not to get bored.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I have no doubt that the EP is going to smoke. So, I mean, and
absolutely.
I'm a bit of I can be at times, I can be a bit of a progressive guy. I'm not saying that's what your style is. So I'm okay with an 8-minute song. I'm okay with a 6-minute song. Sometimes you got to get through 10 or 12-minute songs with progressive bands. And they do it masterfully. Like, you're not bored, like from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. But that was just something that really stood out for me with you guys, and all 10 of these songs on the first album, was that you were never bored 1 minute. You know what I mean? Every song had its own has its own flavor, its own, like, and I'm reading, and I read the comments that pop up as we're on the show, and it's like everybody's kind of got the one that they pick out for themselves. Like Helena, she said she likes Live Free, Get Wild.
Oh,
so
dude.
There's something for everybody on this record. I love them all. I've made some choices, no way, and definitely meet you there, or probably awesome. For me, the two that will that were ingrained the hardest. So
Live Free, Get Wild has one of the best lyrics in it. I mean, want to taste what's on your mind.
Yeah.
Dude, is that not like perfection?
I wish Jordan was still on the call for that, because I remember when he was over here on that song, I'm trying to remember what it was before that. It was let's see. It wasn't taste. It was a different word, and then it was rhymed with taste though. And then he was like, dude, no, it needs to be want to taste what's on your mind. And then we both kind of were like, okay, that's a cool line,
Dude, that is an exceptional lyric.
Yeah,
exceptional.
We try to put those. We have a lot of innuendos and all that stuff throughout the music.
It is so cool, and it's not. And like I said, original comes to mind because you didn't copy somebody else's. You didn't interject. And a lot of bands, there's some really great lyrics out there, and you'll hear them in other songs, which is fine. But when you can come up with your own, that somebody's, I think when I heard that lyric for the first time, I was at work and I run a CNC machine. I was at work and I think I went, come on, you got to be kidding me. And I kind of started the song back over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
So,
like, you know.
well, I was going to say, I mean, is that what you hope for in listeners? I mean, I'm not saying that musicians are selfish with their own instrument because they want to highlight themselves. I mean, you guys are a perfect marriage of all four pieces, but are you hoping that people kind of see the whole picture? Because some people are just music people, like they just like the vibe and the feel of the song, and maybe the 3 or 4 words that get them in the chorus, you know, and that's enough. Do you find that, you know, that people pick up on the lyrics at the same time? I was a singer, so I pick up on lyrics, obviously. So I mean, is that what you're looking for? I guess some people could just throw out the concept and go, yeah, just put something in there that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, anybody that takes the time to listen and appreciates it is I mean, that's awesome any way you spin it. But it is really nice when people pick up on all the subtleties that's going on in the music, because there is a lot of little things that you know we try to do, and a lot of sneaky things. There's a lot of things that, you know, it's just little ways to be more fresh or more original, or, you know, where you're not just
just droning, just pushing out the same catchphrases and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't want to fit in. You want to stand out. I tell this to people all the time. You know, people be like, I just don't fit in. And, you know, I used to feel that way. I'd be like, I don't fit in. One day somebody told me, you're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to stand out.
Right.
And it's
like, why you have the slippers that you do.
Yeah, the slippers, dude.
But
slippers.
Right.
Hell yeah. They're bandanas, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why we work so well as a band, and that's why Jordan and I work so well together too, is because he's such a big lyric guy, you know, and I'm such a big melody guy, you know, so that kind of goes together well. But, you know, and he's just really good at those like he said before, the imagery and trying to get you to
yes.
You know, I like the way he paints the picture, you know what I mean? He makes it oh, Elena's back. How come Carrie Mike has a Baton Rouge poster on the wall? I don't know. That's off topic.
Hey, because Baton Rouge rocks, baby. Come on.
Mike's wall looks like what mine did when I was like 18 years old.
Oh, you know what? I'm still 18 in my mind, dude.
What about my wall? I got a cool wall too now.
There you go. There we go.
I got some Marshalls over here.
Nice.
See there? That's okay. You smoked Tim's wall. Sorry, Tim.
He's tapestries. He's got like the whole kind of bohemian.
We all gotta have our
magical environment going on.
Right, you got all your place is a reflection of your personality, of who you are.
Yeah.
Mine is just posters and.
It's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good.
As long as it's music related, man, you just gotta have your safe space, your creative space, you know, and I love it.
This is where we do all the demos and everything. We cut everything here, you know, so we got to get it all vibed out and make it look cool. I got the big light on right now because it was like really dark without it, but without that light, I got all the cool lights like
right.
Yeah, yep. I have to blast myself.
I have once Christmas light lights up there.
Yeah, then it's all I look like some weirdo in this LED lit up room. But that's cool. No, but man, I thought this was just great that you could come on the show and you gave us an opportunity to talk to you guys. We don't get those opportunities very often. And Mike and I were just jazzed. I was like, talk to him, see if we can talk to him. And he was
right. Like, I got a hold of you guys. I told Tim, I said, you're co-host. He's like, sweet, you know. But I was like,
it's an absolute pleasure, you know, and it's really nice to talk to people that are so you know, that you guys, I can tell you guys are really paying attention, so I really appreciate that.
Yep.
You know, that's super awesome.
Doing all of our homework too. I'm like making all kinds of scratchy notes next to all the songs and stuff. I didn't want to miss any points, but you answered every question that I had.
Everything.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm really excited for the future for you guys. I hope that Mike and I can play a little part in passing the word and keep moving it along and get you in everybody's ear And then hopefully, within a year's time, because I think this cruise is pretty much booked up.
Right.
It'd be great to have you guys on the pre-party or at least on the boat the following year. If not, maybe I can get you over to Sweden Rock. I'd like to go to Sweden Rock one time.
Right.
Yeah, man. I think next year, I think this year will be a big discovery year, and then next year will probably be the year where we're kind of getting on all the things, So
yeah. We'll be there.
Onward and upward. Yeah. But no, I appreciate you guys so much, man. That's
I'm
awesome.
stoked for it. I'm really excited. Yep. No, this was great.
We'll keep in contact with you because I booked my own shows down here in Charleston. So I have the music farm that I put bands in. So
yeah,
you're on the list.
I've been there too.
Music farm is a great venue.
Yeah.
I route you through Atlanta and then maybe somewhere else, but we will keep in touch. I do want to stay in touch about something that I could use on Mork and try to get out to help you guys get the word out. Me and Tim get something on Mork.
Stickers, anything. Anything. And we'll continue to do the same, through the groups and stuff like that. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to mention before we
any more plugs?
Oh yeah, all the shameless plugs, huh?
Yeah.
No, it's yeah, so for us it's just gunshineband.com is where you can find. That's our website, and we got merch, all our like music videos, all our information is on there, and Gunshine Band on most social media. It's either that or just Gunshine, but most of the accounts are Gunshine Band. Yeah, that's
good.
I have one more question before you go. Wait, I got one more question before he runs. Where did the name Gunshine come from?
Oh yeah, you know what,
man, I can't believe I forgot that one already.
No, and I'm really glad you asked that too, because I think a lot of people don't get the name. They're like, oh, I saw a couple comments, which I try not to read too many of those TikTok comments, but I mean, I like, there's a lot of really good ones, but you're gonna get some hate too anytime you got a video that's gonna get anything more than like 50,000 views or something.
You'll get hate.
But anyways, so the band name is, so we're from Florida, which is a sunshine state. So I was on Google one day because we were trying so hard to find a band name, and I was just Googling like what other terms for Florida, like is there any, I was trying to think of like cool street names or just anything, like because there's so many bands from LA and New York and stuff. So I was trying to like, okay, what's something that can reflect like the fact that we're from Florida. And it said sometimes Florida is known as the Gunshine State because it's shaped like a gun.
Wow. Okay, I didn't.
Damn.
And then I was thinking, and I was thinking about our music, and I'm like, we're just we kind of have that swampy, edgy feel, and it just felt right. And I was like, Gunshine, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, but I like that. Cool, and you kept it like personal too. I mean, you attach yourself to where you're from, and I think that is a great way to put the icing on the cake. It's a unique name. It's not one. I mean, it seems like everybody's using Angels something anymore or something, and I'm not.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the one word band name, something that you can just, easily say. But it's funny because, without explaining that story, some people might just be like, oh, Gunshine, what does that mean or whatever, but it is, it's the Gunshine State. That's,
Right.
I love it. I learned something new every day. That's great.
I love it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Austin. This has been great. And
thank you so much.
Look forward to hopefully meeting you in person one day, not over StreamYard.
Hopefully that's gonna be done.
Yeah.
We will soon for sure. We're gonna make sure of it.
Right on. All right, guys, go buy the gun. Go listen to them on Spotify. They only get probably an 1/8 of a cent for every stream. Buy the friggin' merch, buy the CD, buy whatever they got. Give these guys all the plugs in the world. They deserve it. Well done. Well done.
I will have all the links up. I will have all the links up to their website, Facebook, Spotify, TikTok. Everything will be in a post tomorrow in the group so that you have no excuse but to click.
Exactly.
So, happy Friday. You get some links to click. And we're going to leave you with, we'll say goodbye to Austin and we'll say goodbye. But we're going to do the video for Wall Said the Call.
There you go.
So then you get a taste. If you're just tuning in or you've been watching, but you haven't listened to him yet, I got you.
Crank it up.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you both for being here.
Have a great weekend, brother.
I appreciate you both.
Yeah,
thank you guys so much for having me. Yeah. Have a great night, guys.
All right. Take care.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Tim.
You're welcome, sir.
For being here. Thank you so
It
much.
was a blast.
for turning me
Let's
on
do
to
it
these
again
stuff.
sometime.
We will do it a few more times.
And thanks to everybody who tuned in for the live stream and got to hear this guy's story. It's been great having everybody here in the chat. So
yeah.
Rock on.
Everybody's
we'll see you guys somewhere at some show, at some boat, some remote location.
Life is short. Buy the tickets, and here you go. How about let's listen to a tune?
Go for it.
Let's listen to Wall Said the Call. All right. Y'all have a great week.
Later.
Take care. Enjoy the tune.